want me to do something else.
Okay, I will let you. I haven't gotten there in my head, but when I get to the memorial service, then.
The notes here for me.
Yes, they're down here. So when I pick them up, I don't want to carry them with me.
I don't want you to. Let me just look at them for a minute.
Okay.
Maya behayom, Shabbat shalom. Maya behayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. In the early 90s, the New York Times did a profile of the late Janet Reno, who had been very high in government as Attorney General in Florida and then went on to national service. And almost that entire article is about Florida. And it is about how nutty and crazy Florida is. That it is almost the Wild West down here, that some of the cases she saw are the most unusual she has ever seen. Since that time, there has evolved a phrase called Florida Man, as in Florida Man does something dumb that makes it into the newspaper. In fact, there was even a show called Florida Man for a minute or two that featured wacky stories of people wrestling alligators or being propositioned or propositioning or all the crazy things people do in this Wild West that is Florida. And so I've been working, how many attorneys are here in the room? So I've been working with a bunch of attorneys putting together an attorneys luncheon that we're doing, and hopefully all you attorneys and others will be there. It's in November. If you're a New Yorker, we have Liz Holtzman, very famous member of Congress, who was the first to figure out how to battle the Nazis who had come into the United States in the years after World War II. But everyone I'm working with on this event didn't go to law school in Florida. And a lot didn't practice in Florida. They practiced elsewhere. And I've done a lot of lawyers programming, and I know how easy it is to get continuing legal education credits, because I've done it before, and nobody believed me. They're like, Jessica, you have to prepare documents and applications and law firms and things. I said, trust me. So at like 2:54, I set our password. At 2:58, I sent in the details, which Stuart and others have seen, of what we're doing in November. And at 3:04, I had the CLE number. That is there. So I wrote to my two co-chairs, Gail Lewis and Ron Levine. I said, take your jaws off the floor. We have our CLE number already. That is there. That is thank God CMEs, medical credits, they don't give as quickly. So doctor, don't worry. They're like, medical credits are much harder to get, but legal credits are easier. That's the nature of Florida. There are just some things that are uncharted and that are just persevered in a different way. And if you open the news any day, locally, it will appear nationally, because that's just the way we roll. And on some days, it's wacky and weird, and on other days, it's wonderful. And anyone who lives here for 6 months and a day, you know exactly what I mean. There are good and bad and plenty of interesting to take. So that is just one of the many, many things that are happening in the Jewish year ahead, 5787, that we're so excited about. And so hopefully that will get on the calendar of our attorneys and others. With that, I want to wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom. I want to invite you to share greetings of Shabbat Shalom with your neighbors and those around you. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.
And we invite forward at this time Lisa Pollock to light candles for Shabbat. A reading for candle lighting you'll find in your service supplement, and then after that you'll find candle lighting for Shabbat on pages 2 and 3 of Mishkan Tefillah. our prayer book.
This first. I'll read that.
Yeah, and then the canceling.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Everyone needs someone to pray for, to utter someone's name with the lips of faith and hope and life, to revive someone else. And everyone needs a heart on which to lay hands of faith and blessing. And everyone needs the other and needs to leave and re-enter, but mainly to take leave of themselves and to forget themselves, and to what extent to enter and to what extent to be someone else. For an hour, for a day, for a cry, to be someone else. Someone needs to stand before their God and to cry out, enough already, leave them be, leave them be. They are rare gold, they are a precious gem. They are your child, your one and only. Grant them good. Let them also be able to pray. Help them pray for someone else.
And then you light the candles and then do the blessing. All of that.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvosav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue on page 10 with Hine Ma Tov that expresses how wonderful it is to be together.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Please rise as we continue on page 28 with the Baruch Hu. Page 30, we read together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
Asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chochma poteach sha'arim, u'bitfuna meshane itim, u'machalif et hazamanim, u'misader et hakochavim, v'mishmoretehem barakia kirzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'mavir yom u'mevi layla, u'mavdil bein yom u'bein layla, Adonai Tzavaot Shemo, El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim Avat Olam. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Please be seated as we continue with the V'ahavta on page 36.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher nohi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha bebetecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shakvecha v'kumecha u'geshartam lehot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ketabtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Together on page 39 we read, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Michamocha, page 40.
Tehilot, מלכותך ראו בניך, וכי הים לפני משה מרים, זה לי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאה ישראל.
We are a people in whom the past endures, and to whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We continue with the Yismachu, page 44.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וגורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וגורא עונג שבת. מקדשי, מקדשי שבי שבת. כולם ישמחו וידאגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וגורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וגורא עונג שבת.
Please rise as we continue with the tefillah on page 46 and for the next several pages.
Mekayeh
HaKadosh v'shimcha kadosh u'kedoshim b'chol yom yihalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated as we read together at the top of page 53. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the dark for which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. We continue with Ritzay, page 56.
Ritzay, Ritzay, Ritzay Adonai Eloheinu, be'amcha Yisrael, u'tefilatam, be'ahava tekabel, u'tehi l'ratzon tamid, u'tehi l'ratzon tamid, Avodat Yisrael Ameha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha, b'yiranavud, she'otecha levadecha,
We continue in silent prayer.
When Ruth Calderon was elected to the Knesset in Israel in the mid-2000s, the country did not know what to do with her. Ruth Calderon is one of the dignitaries we met with when I was in Israel last week. And Ruth Calderon was a secular Jew, very esteemed and known in Israeli society. And when she ran for Knesset and won on her party's list, on her first day in the Knesset, she gave a speech where she explained where she sat. She was a Tel Avivian. She was modern and sophisticated and cultured and educated. And yet, at the same time, she loved Talmud and Mishnah and ancient Jewish texts. And she was upset about two things. She felt that those Tel Avivians had ignored the Jewish culture and texts and history that got them to this day. And at the same time, she was worried that the Orthodox had become so religious that they were forgetting that they were part of a modern Israeli society. And she wrote a book called A Bride for One Night, in which she captured Talmud in a way to speak to the modern voices, those of the Orthodox who were dismissive of those who were secular, and of the secular who were dismissive of the Jewish texts. She starts with a piece from Ta'anit. Rav, one of the rabbis of the Talmud, visited a certain town. He decreed a fast, but no rain fell. A member of the congregation also tried to bring rain. He said, "He who causes the wind to blow and the wind blew." He said, "He who causes the rain to fall and the rain fall." Rav said to him, "What did you do?" And he said, "I teach children. I teach the poor as I teach the rich. And if anyone cannot afford to pay, I teach him free of charge. And for any child who will not learn, I have a pond with fish. I win the student over with fish. I call to him and appeal to him until he learns to read." And for her, that was an explanation of why she was doing what she was doing. She was trying to teach the secular Jews of Israel to fish in the pond and sea of Talmud and Bible and Jewish texts and see all the good and ethical and moral that was there that they could study in their leisure time. And she was trying to teach the Orthodox world to fish, to understand that the secular Jews are the ones who are often dying on the front lines or creating the companies or making sure the economy is strong and safe. And she wanted them to learn to appreciate one another. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever taught anyone to fish, but it is not an easy thing. When I was working at a camp many years ago, there was a little boy named Jeffrey Perlman. His nickname was Oyster, and he wanted to learn to fish. And we were at the side of the lake at the camp, and I looked right and left, and there was no one else to teach Oyster to fish. And so I realized I was going to have to suck it up and teach him how to fish. And so with a very expert face on, even though having no idea what I was doing, we took the bait and put it on the hook. And then Oyster put his line into the water, and lo and behold, a few minutes later we caught a fish, which meant, oh my God, we were gonna have to touch the fish to take it off of the line. Now, I will tell you, when you are a rabbi and a mother and you go to a bris professionally as a rabbi, you have to keep a regular face. And even when you're a rabbi going to your own son's bris, your first child, as in my case, you can't be hiding in the kitchen like my mother did at my brother's bris. You have to be out and in front like this is the most normal, wonderful thing, even though you're the mother of the baby that is having a circumcision. And so at that moment, when I had to help Oyster get the fish off of the line, I had that same fake face of calm and serenity that I had at my son's bris. And with such ease, we took the fish off, and Oyster learned to fish, and that is the last time I have fished. And so we are reminded that we can say it is important to teach people how to fish, that Ruth wants to teach the secular about Jewish tradition and teach the Orthodox about embracing the secular. But Ruth Calderon is no longer in the Knesset. She has not continued in that place because it is hard to fish and it is hard to teach other people how to fish. And yet we must not give up. This week when we lost Dolly Parton, I thought about all the things that she taught us that are so reflective of the ethics and morals of Jewish tradition. Dolly's work often quoted Psalms and biblical text, and more than anything, she quoted her childhood, a childhood of utter poverty that she spoke about again and again and again. It never left her,
In the same way, when Ruth Calderon entered the Knesset and gave a speech about her parents who had escaped from Europe's clutches, and she came to this land and that was still with her, and that is why she studied Jewish texts, Dolly Parton always talked about the poverty that she came from, that her illiterate father was the smartest man that she ever met, and that all the time she had been teased as a child for her poverty in no way held her back from singing her heart out on her own and with her family. The late Rabbi Richard Levy of Los Angeles, a few years back, went to the music of Dolly Parton. And in a series called Sad Ass Songs, he looked at the Psalms and at Dolly. He started with Psalm 118, "From within the narrow space I cry out, God. The Holy One answered me in God's expansive space. I have, Adonai, no need to dread. What can humans have of me? I have God for help so I can stare down my assailants." And this is a lesson that Ruth learned, and that Dolly learned, and that we are supposed to learn. That if we hold on to faith and things that are good and true and guide us to a place that is striving to make the world better, then we can face our enemies. So when kids teased her for her patchwork coat that turned into the song "The Coat of Many Colors" that was made of scraps her mother sewed together and which she was teased for, she made a song out of it. Because she realized that there will always be assailants and enemies and people that will destroy us and try to hurt us. There is disease and doubt and hatred and jealousy. We might have a diagnosis or something to dread, and it is difficult. And Richard Levy pointed out that while we may wish to take refuge in God, sometimes we also have to pair that with medicine or text or taking a risk. We only alone cannot face what is difficult. We must do it with God, and we must do it with the wisdom of society. We are not alone in battle in all that is difficult that is out there, but we must teach people complicated ways to think. Ruth Calderon tried to say to the secular, you must re-embrace the Jewish text or you will forget why you are in the land of Israel. And Dolly Parton said to the world at large, I may be rich and sparkly, but at the origin, I am impoverished, and we can never forget those who are poor. And in the Psalms comes this place of refuge, a patchwork of refuge, so to speak. We are in the month of Elul, smack dab in the middle. If the night is clear, you will see a full moon driving home. And that means we are 2 weeks away from Rosh Hashanah. It means we are 2 weeks away from taking the patchworks of rags of the year that has passed and deciding how we will sew them together in order to go into the year ahead. Elul is meant to be a time of reflection when we think about all that has happened in the year that passed, who we are to forgive and who we are forgiving, and to go forward to the year ahead. There is a spiritual awakening that comes at this time of year, understanding that we have a chance to make anew all that is difficult and distant. A year ago, you were just recovering from terrible hurricanes that destroyed this island and this community in great and difficult ways. And it is funny that this week is not just the anniversary of Andrew, which ravaged South Florida in the early 90s, but in the seas, with names that were assigned years ago, was forming a tropical storm Dolly, just days after she died. It is not like the Weather Bureau made a decision to rename a storm after this powerhouse who clearly the world is mourning, who clearly has driven those who like the Empire State Building to turn it pink, and Southwest Airlines and their Nashville flights to turn them pink, and people all over the world singing tributes, and us singing Jolene, or Islands in the Stream, or whatever else Dolly's song comes to mind. But it is a reminder that there are some things about people like Ruth or like Dolly that ask us to see the world in a magical, mystical, beautiful, and spiritual way. It is not as if Ruth Calderon knew that she would be able to convert the whole Knesset into getting along with one another. In fact, it is more divided than ever before. But there is hope and magic in her hopes and dreams to bring them together still to this day. And it is not as if Dolly's music, which was about the poverty of her childhood, would clear the poverty that goes on in this day, in this country, and around the world. But by singing about it, or by studying it, or by drawing attention to it, or by doing whatever she could to make the world better, the world that she lived in some ways she made the whole world our home. This is a funny time on the Jewish calendar, but it is also a funny time if you live in South Florida. There are some people who are not yet back and won't be back for several months, others who go back and forth, and some who are here all year long. The challenge is to make a place like Florida feel like home. Most of us were not born here, and those who weren't have other places we might think about. For some, it is the beautiful warmth that Dolly describes Tennessee. For others, it is the vibrant city like the city of Tel Aviv that Ruth Calderon is from. But what we learn in studying the Psalms and through the eyes of these incredible women and through the eyes of our own is that ultimately home is not a place, but home is that relationship between God and I. Because the Psalms were really love letters between King David and God. 150 beautiful, storm-tossed, peaceful, loving, and painful essays that David sat down to write because he loved God so much. And David, who was always on the lam, fleeing from one battle or another, running from one situation or another, creating chaos between his children and his friends and his wives, at the end found home in one place, in the Psalms. And so these Psalms that we read are David's love letters to God. And in that place, in those Psalms, David found home. And God willing, like Dolly, or like Ruth, or like any of us in the year ahead too, we can take the home in the place of God and bring it down to the earth and make it a little more peaceful here. Shabbat shalom. At this time, we continue with our prayers for healing. We invite forward to open the ark at this time Marion Levine and Sam Samuelson. Please rise as our service continues. Mishaberach Avotenu v'Imotenu, may the one who blessed our ancestors bless all those in need of healing. May God grant Hazak v'Amad's courage and those who are in need of healing. May God grant them a wholeness of body and mind and spirit. In our prayers for healing this Shabbat, Rabbi Jim Bennett, Rick Bitter, Sophie Colton, Nancy Eisenstadt, Gail Frank, Debbie Hamburg, Joan Horowitz, Rabbi Peter Kasdan, Rebecca Lutkoff, Joelle Lowenstein, Linda Mack, Angela Mantilla, Lee Rakin, Linda Rosenbluth, Dr. Robert Rosenbluth, Bonnie Rothenstein, Alan Zuckerman, Sarah Leah Bat Harav Yehudit, and those names that you add in the sanctuary and online as my hand meets your gaze.
Daniel Parsons.
Judy Lane, Annette Stone. Phyllis Litchfield. Elder Shuba Malka, Val Rubin.
Shepherd
remain standing and continue on page 282 with Aleinu L'Shabeach.
Aleinu l'shabeach le'adon ha'kol, la'teit gedula le'yotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, ve'lo samanu kamishpefot ha'adamo, shelo sam kelkeinu bahem, ve'god aleinu kekol hamono, va'anachnu orim, u'mishtabachim u'modim, lefnei melech ba'kei hamlakim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, lamelech al kol ha'aretz, v'yom hahu, yehi Adonai echad. Ushmu, ushmu, ushmu echad.
At this time in our service, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. If you are observing the yahrzeit, the anniversary of a death, or of a death in more recent times, we invite you to rise when the name of your loved one is read. On the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of their deaths, we remember Richard Nedwin, Rose Lutkoff, Sadie Snyder, Marvin Newmark, Aidan Yerushalmi, Albert Kasdan, Belle Schiller, Anna Pollock, Sally Shapiro, Ed Cohen, Lisa Belden, Vivian Roth, and those who have been taken from us in more recent times, Jim Hutchinson, Bib Grossman, Shirley Fine, Donald Kreis, Burton Ramey, Amy Darren, Lee Disnoff, and those names that you add as my hand meets your gaze in the sanctuary and online.
Nancy Josephson.
Baruch atah Adonai, may their memories be for blessing. We rise and join together with the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach tiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon u'vyomechon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudashah baruchu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlam rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, Ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort the bereaved among us, and let us say, amen. It is a pleasure at this time to invite forward Mary and Levine to share announcements with the congregation. Please be seated.
Shabbat shalom and welcome. It's so nice to see many of you here tonight in the heat that we have here. And we hope that you're surviving through the little less air conditioning that we usually have. But I'm looking at the young ones. I'm thinking, I saw you with the fanning yourselves. I wish I was there still. Anyhow, is there anybody here for the first time tonight? I think we have a few people here. What does that mean? Is that a soden? Nice to have you here. Is there anybody else here for the first time tonight? Okay. Yes, the Disnoff family. And we're so happy that we're here for you. I think you realize the support that you get from this synagogue. And Barbara is in good care with all of us who have been the root, unfortunately. And I think you'll be happy to know that she'll be in good care while you're not here with her. And may we rest in peace. And I send my condolences with the board of the synagogue. Okay, so do you want me to read it all? Okay. Saturday night, the 5th of September, is Jana Hunt here tonight? No, I guess not. I was told to look for somebody. Okay, sorry. On the 5th is Slichot, and that's the service that starts off our new year. We are having a service at 7:30, but prior to the service, because we want this to be a sweet new year to come, we will be serving cheesecake with strawberries and coffee and tea. So we hope that induces you to come at 6:30. God bless you, guys. The reception, as I just said, at 6:30 is the reception. The service is at 7:30. So we hope you'll join us for dessert and coffee. Monday, everybody knows that the office is going to be closed. Friday evening, Erev Rosh Hashanah, our service starts at 7:30. We hope to see many of you here. Saturday morning, our service is at 10 a.m. There will be a luncheon following the services at about 1 o'clock-ish, we hope. We hope that you have signed up. If you know people that haven't, we're going to have a beautiful catered luncheon. Right now we have, I think, 80 some odd people that have signed up. And as we are used to in this synagogue, the last week everybody wants to come. So I have to say that we are closing the reservations on the 4th, which is a week before, which will be next Friday. I asked all of you, anybody that you know wants to come, to please make your reservations by then. We cannot have walk-ins. We order enough food so everybody is comfortable and has enough to eat, but we can't constantly add people. So I ask all of you to please get your reservations into the office. It's only $60, and we have a beautiful 5-6 course meal coming for you. Then those of you that have received your high holiday tickets know that you are current members, full members. If you know anybody that still wants to join us, those of you that are not full members and think you might want to come, please let the office know, and they can get you tickets. And remember, those of you who might be members of temples out of the area and plan to come, you do get a reciprocal. So I just caution all of you to try to be here. Join us for a quick Kiddush and Motzi inside, and may you have a very healthy, good week ahead.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Please rise for our closing song, Od Yavo Shalom, and we will join afterwards in the social hall for Kiddush and Motzi.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Be'al Kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Be'al Kulam. Shalom Aleinu, Be'al Kulam.
Shabbat Shalom. We'll meet in the social hotline. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. That was so nice. Shabbat Shalom. I'm trying to reach your dress. I'm going to show you this dress tomorrow morning.
My New York print.
I had it in the shirt.
Well, remember Carrie Bradshaw had it in a rack. And they.
Listen, I want to try to
Oh, I don't think you, I'm just giving an idea. I just.
we have one.